RPM Trade Vietnam is out here again with another live stream. Had to drive way across town to go find some pet stairs for my mother-in-law. Facebook Marketplace, community sharing, trading, exchanging goods for fair prices. Yeah, that's good. That's what community does. I think we can do more of that too. Excuse me. I think we can do more of that. I think society can run more things in that direction of community cooperation and shit like that than what it is we give ourselves credit for. We get lazy. You can make tacos at home, but Taco Bell's so fucking convenient for you. See what I'm saying? The convenience doesn't mean that without it, what the hell are you gonna do? We don't need all of these different luxuries that we have. Is making us soft. But you know what's crazy though? Is that it's making us soft when it doesn't have to. And I think there's something very natural about humanity creating technology, tools, and other things to lessen the burden on humanity, so we can get back to doing what it is that we really naturally want to do, and that is to be a little lazy, to ponder on your own existence, to do the conscious work that the human experience is calling us to. I think that's way more important than I work 60 hours a week to provide for my family so I can go do this. It's like, man, come on, bro. It sounds good because of the money game. Once you get inside of the money game, inside of the game starts legitimizing a whole bunch of fuck shit that you think is normal or necessary. Excuse me. I've been under the weather a little bit the past few days, and woo, it ain't over yet, I guess. I can still feel the congestion and shit. Whew, I was tossing and turning last night a little bit, but I feel better today than I did yesterday. But listen, like I was saying in the last video, or I was trying to say in the last video, is that once you're inside certain games, being inside of the game start legitimizing stuff that doesn't make any sense, but you're losing yourself in the game within the game within the game. For example, if we were all playing a board game or something, and let's say it's you and like 10 friends, right? Playing a board game. And outside of the board game, someone says, I think that I don't feel well. But inside of the game, somebody says, well, according to the rules of the game here, I agree to play the game, to be playing the game, but you can't use rules that is like we're playing to dictate how I medicate myself when I'm under the weather, not feeling well. If it's helpful, I'll take it no matter where it came from. But if it's not helpful, especially if I think that it's detrimental to my health, I'm not going to, you're going to lose me with this blurred line between the game thing and where my natural real life is at. To me, it would be disturbing. And I think when you look at the great consciousness in your natural life, as soon as you start talking about government and shit, you are giving me a game to play that I could easily say, as soon as the game doesn't benefit me or I feel like it's being played out unfairly, or that the game is rigged, because all of the games that they make, they actually also win these games. Nobody who does not create the money game is actually winning the game above the creators. That's not what's going to happen to you. You're insane. You're not going to give the world something like a law society with the illusion of authority and quote-unquote higher courts and law enforcement and the gun and the badge and the imprisonment and the capital punishment and the fucking corruption that'll come inside of all of that, because you got to fill this magical shit, this magical framework with flawed human beings. Have you forgotten? So when you do all of that, I say, oh, bro, you losing me, bro. The government game is going to work to my benefit, or I'm going to excuse it and remove it from my presence. Get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You gonna benefit me or you gonna get the fuck out of here? That's the name of my game. Who the fuck do you think you are? I know who you think you are. The rule makers. You happen to be the biggest rule breakers. And really, when it boils down to it, you can write all the laws on paper. What you guys know wholeheartedly, and the face that you put forward about your law society is not a greater understanding of the laws and the contracts and how it works. What you put forward as the face of who the fuck you are is law enforcement and the prison industrial complex. Violence is what it is that gives you the control that you have over us, because you know that if all else fails and we don't either understand or agree with the magical paper, you have an answer to that, to my disagreement. A gun. That's what you have. Endless resources that you can only fuel with the fucking harnessing of the energy of the people through this illegal taxation. And what's the vehicle of this fucking illegal taxation? A fucking fiat dollar, a petro fucking dollar, right? That's losing its value according to plan, because when they conceived of this goddamn thing, they knew what would make it fucking floppy, huh? Like it might flop on you. What'll make it strong? What's damaging? How you can organize or manipulate the system to favor the people or not. They know what the answers to these questions are. You would have to tell me that they don't know or understand these things for you to remove blame from them about how the money system is going, if you want to convince me there's not a system of control. Oh, well, then they don't know how this works. Everything is an organic surprise that is turned out in this way to them. Stop the madness. You're not going to be able to convince me of that. So since you can't convince me of that, I realize that anything under, if you can put these things in some kind of a sensible hierarchy, any quote-unquote conspiracy theory or drama or debate to be had about government business that is beneath, lesser than the money issue, anything that's lesser than, I don't even want to argue with you about it. Once I climb so high, I can't backtrack. The money system supersedes everything. You want to argue civil rights with me? Why would I do that? Why would I argue civil rights with you? I already know you wrong if you create a victim out of me or anybody else when I haven't victimized anybody. I don't need no further fucking discussion with you motherfuckers about none of that shit. Let's talk about that illegal money and what it's doing, what it's really doing, what it would do in hypotheticals, what it would look like if somebody was to hypothetically, accidentally, or intentionally do the damaging things. What would that make them deserving of, and what should we do to fix it to make sure that they stop and that no one else can achieve what it is that they have achieved or was trying to achieve by manipulating society by the money? Let's examine everything in that way, right? I don't give a fuck about how you feel. I don't give a fuck about the fear either. Fear is a feeling, right? It's a feeling. It can be based on a whole bunch of shit that may never manifest, but in a moment, it'll capture your energy that's crazy, right? And you fear, what would happen if we don't have money? We can do another kind of money system, something that's honest, something that has built into the money system that a manipulation or an unfair taxing or practice of banking practices or anything like that at all will get people called out and smoked in public in front of everybody quickly. We're not going to play. If you develop a system like that, then you can money system and you can do it and run that shit and get rid of the old shit and then make it fair, knowing that as soon as anybody stands up to rise above the average fucking man, like we're not going to share the monetary system fairly and with some kind of a sensible progression, right, and growth, correcting where it needs to be corrected, but playing no games with manipulators and violators of human rights in regards to how the money goes. Hold the standard like that, and then I would trust the money system. When you can't say the same thing about the money system that we have in place right now, knowing that it doesn't have anything built into it to punish those who violate human rights and all types of things, commit crimes of fucking theft, extortion, racketeering, money laundering, and all types of shit that comes underneath the money umbrella. If you set a system that won't allow for people to get away with it, then you can have a sensible expectation that, you know, the people will go along with your plan. As soon as you have a money system that is as flawed to me as it should be evident to you, and especially to the people that create the money system, Ben Bernanke and the Federal Reserve. Him and all of his fucking minions. Fuck them all. They all deserve something that y'all act like is weird for me to say. But I'm talking, and if I can speak in a fucking hypothetical. If the money system is proven to be an enslavement of humanity, unjust, immoral practices behind it all, opening the floodgates to other crimes against humanity, if that were true, then I do get to say that whoever's behind is supposed to be put to death. Period. 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 I don't care what nobody say about nothing after that. I think y'all some bitches, bruh. I ain't never heard Charleston White. I ain't never heard Jared from Guns and Gadgets. I ain't never heard Mr. Andy. He might be the toughest one of you motherfuckers out there. And I ain't heard Andy say it. Not the way I fucking say it. Not the way it's supposed to be said. Not the way it's fucking meant. What fucking vote you gonna get me to chill out to go to when the vote doesn't settle the money issue, which is one of the biggest, maybe the biggest conspiracy theory out there? Because I don't give a fuck. Gematria is a hot topic, right? A big conspiracy theory that puts you into the mental and psychological capacity to recognize evil, ritualistic, cult-like practices of human sacrifice and all type of shit, and they can't make that shit go around unless they hypnotize all of you to indulge in the consumerism of the fucking merch and all of the other fucking shit along with these celebrities and the rig sports and the blah blah blah. It is the fucking life liquid, the blood of every conspiracy theory is that fucking money, motherfucker. Now take all of the rest of them and tell them to move aside a little bit. Call them out on the money. Call them out on the money. Call them out on the money. Tell them there's a crime there, and you want answers, and you finna hold motherfuckers accountable. You don't want to touch the money no fucking more. We're gonna build a society or a money system right alongside of them while their shit crashes, because they need it to float along as they say so, and not to be toppled over until their hands are there to catch the broken pieces, because they need it to transition into another state of control, one that you ain't gonna get out of. They got you right now. They already trying to fuck with you about the money, bro. Retirement plans and 401ks and all the other shit, they throw all that shit down the drain, man. They give it to their fucking friends on Wall Street and all of these fucking international contracts, weapons contracts, and building contracts. Halliburton and all of these criminal motherfuckers knocking shit down, and then having their, with the military industrial complex, and then having their builder friends come rebuild all of the fucking pieces to hold these fucking countries into a debt that they can't get out of, and then they realize when they're spinning their fucking wheels trying to appease this central bank that they erected in their fucking country, that there's no way out. These people own you, and if you can't call them out on the crime that it took for them to establish this fucking ownership of other human beings, it's called slavery, you motherfuckers. If you won't call them out on that, they are going to move along and expect that when they hold up the magical paper or fucking speak these threats to you about what the law society is going to do, you're going to stop right or wrong. You're going to stop right there, or you're going to fall into your fear of the death that you're going to find anyway. And then they're going to tax your ass again when you die. They're going to tax your death, inheritance, and all the other shit. And then they create an intellectual hurdle that if you're smart enough to get over these fucking things, you can circumvent it. And then these motherfucking gurus try to get online to teach these classes and all this other shit, so they can give you to get them the money so that they can go flourish. Man, get out of here. You don't got to be smart to get your freedom. It's inherent to every man, even if you're stupid, to create an intellectual hurdle that you got to jump over to outsmart them in the court of law, to get your freedom, to get your money, to get your retirement plan, to get out of taxation, to get your inheritance to your kids through these fucking corporations, and to create a trust and do all this other shit. You motherfuckers are psychotic. You guys are fucking crazy. I'm not going for it. Give me all of the fucking freedom, and I don't gotta outsmart you to get it. Because I think that if the idea of the whole thing, given the intellectual level of the capacity of human beings in America, given all of that, if the choice is fight you motherfuckers because an angry fucking stupid fucking wild animal knows how to fight, right? If the idea is to fight or to intellectually challenge y'all and then beat y'all at your own game, if these are the options, I say we got our better chance of fucking fighting than expected for you dumb motherfuckers to realize that there's a game being played, outsmart them, and then actually put forth the energy to go do it. You're not going to do all of that, and they know it. And they thinking fight or be smarter than that. And they make you dumb, and then they make you weak, and then blame you when you lose that fucking fight. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all that dumb ass shit. Psychos. Y'all weird, man. All of y'all are fucking, y'all are funny, man. Funny, man. Funny. So smart and shit. All over the internet being all smart as shit. Look at your smart ass. Want to break it down to me, the history of... and Andy did this shit. And Andy pissed me off with this. Andy from the... Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. The smart guy Andy with the big beard and shit. The patriotic dude who be talking that shit. He be damn near calling him out to the fight almost like I do. Sometimes he say some tough shit and I go, Andy want to fight. Andy just ready for the revolution. He feels like that might be the only way. Sometimes he says this, which is funny to me that he did says that if you speak against the idea of voting and you think that that shit is useless, like you don't got to vote, he wants nothing to do with you. That's what Andy said. So I go, well, I guess I'll never meet that hero either. I guess I'll never link up to do no work with that hero either. He was talking like he won't discuss shit at all with you if you feel like that, which is weird to me. Imagine this. Tough talking Andy, right? Damn near anarchist. I would imagine he would call himself that. I'm not quite sure, so don't quote me if he thinks that that's who he is in the world as an anarchist, a person who is really all about individual freedom over government control. He talks like that, but I don't know if he would categorize himself like that, so I won't talk like that about him. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But what I do know is the same motherfucking Andy that talks shit like the government not going to budge unless you start smoking shit. He feels like that's just what we're dealing with. Also saying he's not going to deal or talk to nobody with no level of respect if they don't want to go out and vote because they got to vote because the vote is what matters. That's contradicting Andy, and I don't think you can explain that to me to make it not contradicting. Weird. All of my heroes are crazy. I thought I liked Andy, and I do. And I would talk to this motherfucker, but I'm telling you, and I ain't going to hold back. I don't like that shit, Andy. I don't like it. Because you stood, for a second, you sounded like the divide that you try to point out. That I better pick a side or else I am the problem. Why was Andy talking? Am I tweaking? Andy was talking like, pick a side. So then later on, he can do his podcast and shit talking about how this side ain't really no good, not for good for nobody, because the bullshit going on in the shadows will continue. And he'll point out and stand out there with his arm folded like he's a fucking prophet when he says, I told you so, that this government is crazy. But during election time, he told you go fucking vote or else you're a pussy. You're an idiot. You're not even American if you don't vote. And then he's going to do this later and talk shit. Make it make sense to me. Man, I think I'm above all my heroes, bro. I don't think it's a motherfucker out there, Charleston White, Andy, Jared from Guns and Gadgets. What's the one dude, the cool guy with the beautiful hair, the handsome guy, Brandon Herrera. I rock with Brandon. He is another one in my top 3. Andy and Brandon Herrera in my top 3. Jared from Guns and Gadgets, he's debatably the third man in my top 3 of activists who really about that shit. Activists who I respect. I respect these guys. I have no expectations that I'm gonna like every single thing that they say, and I'm okay with that. It ain't no hard feelings. I didn't really lose a whole lot of respect for them because of these differences, but I do believe somebody like Charleston White talk a whole lot of good shit where he's wrong at. I think he's really wrong about, so much so that his wrong, I think, if taken seriously in a way that he wants you to, would keep you from coming to the remedy that you all act like you want, because his method or train of thought or thought patterns ain't gonna lead you to the remedy that you need to fix it. You'll just be bitching and complaining without being able to fix it. You'll be stuck there thinking, I gave a fuck. I used my brain. I tried to outthink this shit. I was thinking about this shit all the time. I tried to apply this shit. I tried to live this shit. I tried to speak my mind. I got on my soapbox. I did all this shit and nothing changed. Now I'm dead. Oh well, and you'll do that. Fuck that. I say go straight to the problem, look for a solution that'll work, and then fight for the solution instead of arguing over this the little shit. Go to the solution and go, this where I'm at, this where I'm at. I'm not debating nothing else with you motherfuckers. The vote not gonna work, Andy. I'm not gonna debate with you, Andy, about that shit. After you talk shit about both sides, like you understand 2 wings on the same bird, yada, yada, yada. Fuck is you talk about, Andy? And then you start talking shit about voting? You tweaking. You tweaking. You bugging. Fuck is niggas talking about? Ain't nobody standing on 10 toes about nothing. I see all of y'all do the shuffle. Andy, you sounded like Kamala Harris when you said go vote, or else I fucked up. Vote for somebody, anybody. Somebody, anybody means give government the vote. If you don't vote, you know what that says? That you must be unsatisfied with all options and you might be actually ready and willing to launch a revolution. A revolution looks like nobody voting. When you vote, you look like you're willing to give faith to the processes, and you're willing to vote, wait for the outcome, and give the winning candidate a chance, whether it's your guy or not. That's what that looks like. If that's not what it looked like in the way that I described it, say that. Right now, Andy, Charleston White, anybody else who wants to smoke, who think they smarter than me, who think they mean more harm, they mean more good than I do. I know I mean all of the good. That's why I'm telling you, stop arguing about that voting. Doesn't it look like you're willing to give it a chance if you vote? Don't it look like you don't give a fuck because you ain't got no faith in either side if you don't vote? That's what that looks like. So when I say I don't got faith in either side or nobody's being presented to me at all, I'm probably not going to vote. Andy. Weirdo. Now, and I like you. I know I wasn't going to like everything you said, and I'm okay with that. But I bet he'll never talk to me. I'm never going to talk to none of these people. They're never going to talk to me. They're never going to talk to me. You know how strange that is? Frustrating, actually. They're never going to talk to me. I talk to myself. I don't give a fuck. All of y'all are strange. Thinking that gun rights are debatable is a weird thing. If you call yourself a Second Amendment advocate. Because underneath all of that, if I ask you all the way to the bottom line of the shit you're saying, then you will sound like me. But when you talk the way you talk, you are telling them it's okay to debate this shit to see if we can win the debate, to see if we can get them to get the guns up. And if they do that, and they debate, and they win these fucking gun laws, and then you get all mad about it, that you tried to vote, you tried to get the proper candidate in there, you tried to speak your piece, you tried to protest, and it still did not work out. And this is a travesty because human rights and constitutional rights have been violated in front of everybody. And then you cry like that, then you go, probably should have been fighting. And then I go, see, tell them the fight is up front. Because why would I debate or argue with them or stand by on the sidelines to watch a candidate win a fucking election, or to watch them put laws through court processes to try to see if they're going to make it a new law? The ATF can run their bullshit like they tried to do, jump over all of the processes to make a rule that would be treated like a law, to get these same white boys that they wanted all of these niggas in this country to feel like are being privileged because of their white skin. They told all of them good American white boys that they deserve to go to prison for 10 years for every single case of an AR-15 or AK pistol variant with a stock on it or a brace. They deserve 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for every one of the guns that they find that fit that. That's rougher than crack laws and crack punishments. They did to the white boys to feed the prison industrial complex. They tried to feed all the white boys to the system about an unconstitutional gun grab. And if anybody is smart enough to realize that, then you go, damn, the same government that did the crack shit to the niggas? Wow. It look like they got a flavor of fucking slavery for all of you motherfuckers. That's what it looks like. That's the way I'm going to take it. The racial divide means almost nothing to me because I put this above that. This is a subcategory. That's a stupid fucking fight. That fighting down here is going to spin my wheels and waste my energy. I want to go above to a higher level of observation about what it is that they're really doing. White boys, all these good American white boys, the ATF say go to prison for 10 years for every case. While these niggas kill each other over the guns that we plant in their neighborhoods and the drugs that we planted in their neighborhoods for decades now to help fuel a political thing that's far above their head and they won't even know it. Some of them will know it and they still want buzz to adjust to curb the manipulation built inside of this system that once you place it here, the wheels are the shit goes, all of the gears go, and you almost can't stop it now. If there was ever a racial injustice about the CIA and the Bay of Pigs and the Ricky Ross thing with the cocaine and the CIA and all of that bullshit that they did, if it was ever any tangible damage, the damage can't be overturned, even if the CIA says we will never again, and mean it, to promise to never deal drugs, ever, anywhere in the world. It's already too late because what it is that you did set certain things on course that you are forever guilty of, and you're never going to face it. You're never going to fucking right the wrong or none of that shit. They are forever super wrong with that. I am morally and lawfully, legally, inside of their own law societies and framework, more of an American citizen deserving of the freedom than any ATF or CIA agent, period. They're all criminals deserving of prison plus. Prison plus, you motherfuckers. Now I don't gotta like or respect them or yield to them or none of that shit. Stay away from me. Fuck is you talking about? Assholes.